Hi everyone. So we are going to continue with our project, our GitHub project, and we'll be using the CLI to actually automate this process. Basically, the essence of the automation is to actually make work easier and make also efficiency in an organization. So you wouldn't want to be going through your user interface all the time to check the number of users that you have. Imagine you can have multiple of repository and you have maybe hundreds of or 1,000 users in an organization, and you would want to go through the manual process of checking them every time or going through the to see the number of users that you have and with the right access or with the right access or the what's it called or the teams that they are. So that's why we want to actually go through this three exercise of automating the process. First of all, we want to list users in each repo. Secondly, list user with right access. And thirdly, let's say for instance, you have a user or a member in your organization that resigned. So you can actually go through this process and know the user that is no longer in your organization, and you revoke the access by automating it via the CLI. Now, the first process that we are going to walk through is to spin up our EC2. So we want to use a private server for this exercise. Now, I've spin up my EC2 and it's running already. I have my public key, sorry, my public IP address. Yeah, my public IP address and my public key. I want it to SSH into the what's it called? I want it to SSH into the Linux environment. Now, I have it here. So what I'm just going to do, I want to SSH into this what's it called? I want to SSH. Now, how do I go about it? I have my key here, my Git key, and then my what's it called also Ubuntu with my username and the public IP address. So I'm just going to enter. Yeah, I'm just going to enter, and I've actually logged in. Now, the next thing I'm going to do now, I want to also log in export my what's it called, my GitHub. I'm going to export my username, and my also I want to also export my authentication. Yeah, so I'll just go to developer settings. Now, from these developer settings, I will go to personal access key. I'll go to token classics. So I'm going to generate my access key from here. So you just go to generate new token. So you go to generate new token. From here, you get your token. So you just write what you need it for. So I've done it already. So for privacy sake, I wouldn't be revealing my token. So the next thing I'm going to do here, I'll just come in here and export my username and my token. So I'm just going to post it and export. So here is my username. So I'm just going to enter for my username. So I've export my username, then I'm going to export my token. Okay, so I've actually done the both of them already. I've export the token and the username. And the next thing that I want to do now, yeah, let me create a file. So I have my files already. So I have the first of all, we said we want to list users in each repo. You realize that we have two repo on our organization account. So we actually have two repos on our organization's account. So let's just go through it. We have two repos. I want to check through. I want to go through how want to know the number of users we have in each repo. So the first thing that I'm going to do here, I'm just going to create a file. I'm going to call it list that users. Just going to list users dot sh. I'm going to list users. Then I'm going to come to my GitHub repo. So I have list dash users dot sh. So now this is actually a standard bash scripting. We have a command line, which is our username, which I entered before. I also entered my token, which I also did. And the next thing, we have two command line arguments. We have the repo owner, which is visibility forge, and the repo name, which is DevOps or the development repo. So these are placeholder to telling you that the first one is going to take, which is the repo owner, and the second one, which is $2, is going to take the repo name. So we are just going to copy this script. Just copy the script and paste it here. So I'll paste the script. I'll just exit and save. Yeah. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm just going to execute the script. So list dash users dot sh space. Now the first command line argument says we should enter the repo owner. Now let's go to our repository. Our repo owner is visibility forge. So we just copy and come down here and paste. Now the next one says we should enter the repo name. The repo name DevOps. So just copy DevOps repo and we paste it here. Now we enter. Now we're going to see that on the DevOps we have four what's it called? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have the four of them in that team, in that repo, sorry, on the repo. So four of them actually have access to the repo. Four of them have access to the repo. That's read access. You can see it now. They have read access to the repo. So let's also go through the next repo and see how many persons have access to the repo. Now let's go to our GitHub and copy the repo. Now we're going to see the number of persons that have access to the repo. So we also have 4 persons have access to the repo. Now we want to know those that have read access and those that have read access. Read access is actually a direct access or organization giving access. So we'll come down to terminal and go to the next script, which talks about the read write access. Sorry, we want to know the number of members that have the right access. So just like we have initially, the username, the token, the command line argument, and all of that. So we're just going to copy it and create a file, a new file for our script. So now done. So let's say list dash write users. Let's know the number of people that have the right users. Okay, right access. Sorry. So Control S Y and enter. So I'm just going to also execute this file. Just going to execute this file dash write dash users dot sh. Now let's go through the first repo, which is development repo. So let's go through the first repo. So let's say also go through to the GitHub and copy it. So just come down here and paste. Let's go through the repo one after the other. So go to the DevOps repo. Let's go to the DevOps repo. Let's see. Okay. No users with right access found for visibility for dev repo. So for dev repo, there is no users with right access. Now there's no users for right access. Now let's see development repo. Let's see the number of users that have access to development repo. So we shouldn't be going through this process. And okay, so we just enter. So you see it now, right? Users with right access to visibility for Abraham, and so you see it now. So we have just two persons with the right access. Okay, now the last exercise that I want to do, we want to revoke. Let's, for instance, given a scenario that this young man, which is this user, decides to resign from the company. So the admin can just say, okay, since he's not working, no longer working with us again, I'll just remove him from the what's it called, from the repo or from the organization. Now we have four command line arguments here. So the first one is the repo owner, the repo name, the target, which is the target, and the team, and the what's it called, the user. Now we are going to go with first of all these three. We're going to go first of all with these three, the three of them. We're going to annul this one. Let's copy the script. Let's copy the script and let's run the script. So now, no. So I'm just going to say delete. Okay, let's use the main revoke revoke dash users dash access dot sh. So we're just going to say we're just going to revoke, and then we paste. Then we paste. So Control S Y and N. Okay, so we've entered the script, and let's enter the command to run in bash. Okay, so revoking user Abraham from visibility forge. So we have actually revoked what is it called, the right access for what's it called? We've actually revoked access for Abraham. So let's just go through let's check let's list users again. Let's see if we find him on the development repo. Now you can see that we no longer have him on the development repo. We no longer have him there again. So he's off the development repo. All right, so I'm going to conclude from here. So this is actually the simple or the basic way to actually carry out an automation on your GitHub while managing an organization. Thank you very much, and see you in my next video.